All right, you guys, check this out. Eddie Hearn is at it again, with his bullshit. He tries to say that the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder numbers were terrible, but we're waiting for Anthony Joshua's USA, pay-per-view numbers. And as I said before, I know and I think what's going on is like what a lot of people suspect is going on with DAZN. Now, of course, the Eddie Hearn supporters are going to say we're just hating and all this type of shit and why we're trashing Eddie Hearn, because like I say, Eddie Hearn trash people. Like I keep saying this. What part that you motherfuckers don't understand that white people and white fighters attached to boxing are not off limits? You may think it because of your white privilege attitude, but no, you're wrong. Gonna keep doing it. Okay? No, white fighters and white promoters and white people attached to boxing are not off limits. Just because y'all say so. I told you guys are a bunch of nobodies. For real. And I'm just keeping it 100. As far as Eddie Hearn go, something is in the water with Eddie Hearn, and I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's shit water. It stinks. Because like I keep saying, Eddie Hearn is always talking about somebody else's numbers, but then once again, he's yet to show us the DAZN numbers. Eddie, my thing is, if you are doing so much better than pay-per-view and Showtime and all that shit, open up your books. Let us see your numbers. And to my subs, stay on Eddie Hearn. Stay on his social media account. Ask for Eddie Hearn to show us the DAZN numbers so far. Because we all know that the attendance haven't been that good. Because like I said, Eddie Hearn got motherfuckers fighting in the middle of nowhere on farms and shit. You know what I'm saying? And people getting escorted to the event on tractor trailers and shit. You know what I'm saying? For real. So, Eddie Hearn ain't in no position to talk about nobody. But he loves to do that shit. But at the same time, he tries to bash Deontay Wilder, but he wants to sign Deontay Wilder. At the same time. So that's what makes the shit ironic about Eddie Hearn. He tries to bash Deontay Wilder, but then he still wants him on DAZN. Real talk, Eddie. Can we see your numbers? Can we see the books? Eddie, can we please see the books? Show us the numbers, Eddie. We want to see the numbers. We want to see the DAZN numbers. Since you always talking about somebody else's numbers. You notice that? The next time I'll talk to Blue, I'm going to tell him to ask Eddie Hearn, what are the DAZN numbers? And could he show us the books? And could he give us the numbers? And if he get all tight and upset about it, our question will be answered. Because see, I'm the type of dude, y'all know I'll ask Eddie Hearn. Hey, Eddie, since you seem to be so concerned about Deontay Wilder's numbers, what are the DAZN numbers? Can we see your numbers? Because see, like I said, all them other clowns, they not going to ask him that. Because like I told you, to a certain degree, covering boxing is an ass-kissing fest. Like I said, all these dudes want to be buddies with these promotional companies and certain fighters and certain, trainers, because they feel it'll lead to certain accolades, and they'll continue to get they press credentials and continue to go to those cheap ass, fake ass breakfasts and lunches that they serve us. I'm just telling y'all that, man. I'm just telling y'all that. I'm keeping it 100, man. That's why these dudes do the shit that they do, man. I'm gonna ask him a manufactured question. That's why I want to tell y'all it's better to be outside media than to be inside, where I'm inside and outside, where some places I go to, I don't have credentials. Where some I do. Like I said, there's certain questions I can't ask when I'm covering the fight. So sometimes I like not having media credentials. So basically I could ask these motherfuckers the questions I want to ask them. But as I said before with Eddie Hearn, man, once again, it's time for Eddie Hearn to show us his numbers. You can't talk shit about somebody if you ain't doing better. That's like a motherfucker, a rapper talking about another rapper, talking about, yeah, man, his album sold 3 million copies. That ain't shit. Who cares about 3 million copies? But this dude's album didn't even go gold. But he tried to talk shit about somebody else's units and how many units they sold. Now, it don't come down to talent. It comes down to units. I'm saying you talking about another person's units and you selling less. Oh, man, nobody don't care about. You can't talk about somebody else's sales or they numbers unless you doing better numbers. That doesn't make sense. But the reason why Eddie Hearn get to spew that nonsense because nobody won't ask him, well, Eddie, what are your numbers? So I'm asking all my subs, man, keep riding Eddie Hearn. Go to his social media accounts and say, Eddie, when are you going to put out the DAZN numbers? What are the numbers, Eddie? Because as I said before, here's the thing. After Saturday's fight with Canelo, we expect Canelo to beat this dude. Either Canelo will beat him by decision or Canelo will stop him. Okay, but what's the next step for Canelo afterwards? He won't be able to get Charlo. So what he gonna do? Make somebody move up once again to 160, fight him and knock him out, somebody with a bit of a name? Because like I said, this shit is backfiring on Eddie Hearn. And I think at first a lot of people was just, blown away and just felt like, ooh, he said he got $1 billion to play with. But now that Eddie Hearn isn't making much magic happen, now all of a sudden people is looking at this dude. And like, hey, man, something ain't right about this dude. What the fuck is going on, man? Like I said, you got all this money, but yet you putting on events that got 14 fights and shit, which I think is absurd. And then you got the main event going on at 12 midnight, 12:30, at night, Eastern time. So how could you not have thought that this shit was going to fail? And then you finally admitting, well, the big money is in the U.S. market. We all know that. We've always known it. You had these other people sitting up here feeding us that baloney. You had other people feeding us that baloney, but I didn't believe it. I'm way more sharper than that. Like I said before, Eddie Hearn needs to show us his numbers since he cares so much about other people's numbers. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I'm out.